Shift our focus to a totally different story matters Matatu industry in the country. And since the relaxation of the COVID-19 containment measures, Matatu operators have continued to carry 60% of their capacity. Now, the union leaders who had planned a strike of all commuter vehicles beginning today say they have struck a deal with the government to resume full-board carriage. Let us now link up with our reporter Emmanuel To as he speaks to the union officials. Emmanuel To, good morning. So talk to us about this planned strike that was supposed to kick off today.
Well, thank you very much, Brenda. A very good morning to you. We are here at Kencom's bus station, and we are joined by a few union leaders who are just telling us what they agreed with the government because they were supposed to begin their strike today. Remember that since the COVID-19 pandemic started, there were measures that were put, including reducing the number of passengers on board for the public service vehicles, and that meant that public service vehicles were supposed to carry 60% of their capacity. And for over 7 months or so, they have been making losses going up to billions of shillings for all that time. And they were expecting that they were going to be remembered when the president last spoke, but they were left outside the relaxation or the easing of the restrictions that were put. And you can also remember that the flights are carrying full capacity. SGR also is carrying a big chunk of passengers, but they feel that they feel aggrieved by that directive. So I'm joined by the chairperson of the Association of Matatu Operators here in Nairobi, Jamal Mohammed, just to speak to us on what they agreed. Please kindly join us. What did you agree with the government so far, and what are your recommendations?
Thank you, Steve. Jana leo tulikuwa na mgomo kubwa Kenya mzima, lakini tumeongea na Ministry of Transport in collaboration with Interior, na tukaleta dialogue na wakasema tuwapatie ultimatum of 1 week wakuwa wamesort out hii issue once and for all, because we were forgotten. To be truth, we were forgotten. Lakini sai as we are speaking, we call off the strike as per yesterday night. Tuliandika barua kwa members wetu wote na tukasema mgomo tutaiweka baada ya wiki moja kama hawatakuwa wametimiza, but naamini na believe kwa kuwa tutatimiza hii kitu ambaye tunaenda kusikizana baada ya wiki moja.
Kwa hivyo serikali ilisema vipi? Ilisema itarudisha kiwango ambayo iliyokuwa ya kubeba abiria ndani ya basi, ama walisema vipi?
Tuliwapatia valid reason kwa nini tunafaa kurudisha full capacity, because our competitors like SGR and all other people wako in full capacity. So currently, say as we are speaking, serikali wamesema tuwapatie ultimatum of 1 week, watarudisha full capacity. Okay. Wasiporudisha, take it to the bank, tutabeba full capacity na tutagoma tena.
Haya, na kuna mambo mengine ambayo mlikuwa na wasiwasi nayo, kwa sababu nilisikia kwamba mnamshawasha na hali ya kupeleka stage ya mabasi kwenda nje ya mji, mnasema vipi?
We have several burning issues kwa sekta ya matatu. Namba moja, tuko na issue ya NMS imechange from Nairobi County to NMS, ambayo wameungana na KRA, wanalipisha watu wa matatu kila each and every sako kuna amount of money ambayo tunalipishwa. Mara unasikia moja inalipishwa 200, nyingine inalipishwa 1 million, nyingine 1.5. That is one issue. The second issue ambayo yenye tuko nayo ni mambo ya kutolewa ndani ya CBD, whereby hawatupeleki mahali na stahili. Na issue ya tatu, mahali sasa tunaelekea ni NTSA wana assume ni kama hakuwa kwa pandemic. Wanasema watakuwa wanafunga masako zetu kama tutakuwa tumefika requirements of the vehicle, na sai as you are speaking wamefunga more than 34 circles. So those are 3 issues pamoja na hii issue ya capacity. Those are 4 issues that we are going to discuss with the Ministry of Transport by next week.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. Brenda, you're getting it from them. They're saying that if the government is not going to allow them carry full capacity in the next 1 week, they're going to conduct a massive strike in the city and outside the city, just to make sure that the government follows their rules, and of course the government agrees to their terms. And you can also recall that Kenyans, Nairobians, over 4 million of them are using the public service vehicles, and 70% of them actually out of the 4 million are using the public service vehicles, and it's going to be a very critical element in the transportations of Kenyans in and out of the city. Back to you in studio.
All right, Emmanuel, too, I believe you still have the union officials there. I don't know what they would like to say, because there's some matatus that are already carrying, passengers the usual way, like a full capacity matatu, instead of 1 seat for 2 persons, 3 seats for, 2 seats for 1 person and 3 seats for 2 persons.
All right, let me just ask them, kindly, Jamal, there have been concerns that people are flouting those rules and you're not carrying the capacity as was directed by the government. What do you have to say about that?
I think maybe we are living in a different world. Currently, as we are speaking, hata nyi watu wa media wenyewe mnaona, tunabeba the capacity, the 60% capacity that the government said from day one. Sasa ni 8 months tangu tuanze kubeba hivyo.
Lakini kuna magari ambayo yanabeba zaidi. Kuna magari ambayo mimi mwenyewe nimeshuhudia.
Kama kuna yenye umeshuhudia, maybe ni zile zenye tunaweza ziita usiku sako ambayo hawana license, because there is a big risk for your license to be revoked once you carry more capacity that is not required by the government. So there is a big risk. Kama unajua value ya license ya sako yako ama ya kampuni yako, you cannot do such thing. So those are usiku sako. We are calling them usiku sako. They are licensed vehicles.
Okay.
Ndio zinaweza fanya kazi kama hiyo.
Are you going to call for them to continue observing the rules or
Currently, as you are speaking, I'm not the chairman for usiku sako. Number one, the unlicensed one. Hiyo ni kazi ya NTSA, wamelalia kazi yao na Kenya Police. Wanafaa kushika hizo gari na kuzingua number plate. Okay. Lakini currently sasa wakisema Kenya Bus ama City Shuttle ama Arbab imefanya kitu kama hiyo, kitu ya kwanza ni wanapiga picha na inangolewa license, inangolewa number plate na sako license inarevokiwa.
Asante. Well, thank you. Brenda, you've heard it from him that they're saying that they're not flouting those rules. But it's a matter that we are going to observe and see whether they're observing those rules as per what they're saying.
Right. Our reporter, Emmanuel Tu, at the Central Business District, specifically at the KenCom, talking to a union official concerning the cry to the government to allow them to carry passengers when it comes to, the usual old way of a full capacity instead of carrying passengers as per the directive of the government of 1 passenger per seat when it comes to a 2-seater and 2 passengers for a 3-seater. A developing story right there. Emmanuel Tu, our reporter on the ground, will be giving us more details later on. But the country is still alarmed over the rising positivity rate of the COVID-19 pandemic. It appears that the news is still hovering around the country's neck. Over the last 3 weeks, a consistent rate of above 10% infections have been reported in the country. Now, over the last 24 hours, 18 patients have succumbed, including Tononoka Secondary School Principal Mohammed